Well, I have a quick, not quick, but immediate question to my sister,
Oh
Miss
God.
Nick. Because, okay, so, I mean, to get things quickly started on the progression of things that have been happening, I am no longer employed at the place of establishment of work that Nick is still employed at.
I lost my sister. Rest in peace.
RIP, we had a huge rager where everyone came out. And
Which
it
my
was,
man did not come
oh,
to.
diva! And we talked about what happened on the page, but the thing is,
I'll get into I did something.
I know, but the thing is, like, I was gagged and gooped that after all of that, he, like, did with you, like, he just didn't come.
For
But
those
anyway,
for those who like didn't subscribe to Patreon, TLDR, man who expressed his feelings for me really was like, I have a crush on you, and I was like, wait, slay. Invited him to the after work drinks with Miss Peru, and then when we recorded last, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited because he's gonna take me home and fuck me down, like because that's the vibe. Like the vibe was very much like we're gonna fuck like rabbits and then call it a day because he's moving, and so I was like, this is perfect. And then I saw him at work. As I was leaving the establishment for the day, he had just gotten in, and I said, hey, we're going to this bar after the shift, like if you want to come, because it was his last day of work too. And of course he was like, yes baby, I'll be there, like I'll be there for sure. And I said, okay, great. I go to the bar and I wait. An hour goes by, 2 3, more and more people start filtering in, more of like the people who are closing for the night, showing up. And I was like, okay, so like where the fuck is he? Did not show. And I was horny. Mama was like ready to get her shit rocked, and it didn't happen. And so then I got kind of pissed off because, again, he has said to me multiple times that he would DM me on Instagram, and he never
yeah,
did.
but Nick,
But
like,
then today, because I've been very bold. I don't know what it was.
I like how I told you I had something I wanted to tell you. You completely took over the
Oh,
conversation.
sorry. I'm sorry, but you.
Hi, I'm Pioneer Peru.
I'm Trailblazer Nick, and this is
Pioneers
Pioneers
and
and
Trailblazers.
Sorry.
Or clearly just Trailblazers, because Nick out here thinking this is his own show.
And vote down below. Would you tune in? Would you tune in? Just me.
Interesting.
No, fine. I'll let you finish. But I just want to say Beyonce's got the best album of the year.
Ew, no, you quoting Kanye.
That was the vibe.
Yeah, you're Kanye of this pod. You're the Kanye.
Well, I'm not. I mean,
which problematic figure would we be if, like, we had to choose? You know what? I think sometimes I think like Kellyanne Conway is kind of like a fierce diva bitch. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, like how delusional she is. She's just like, no, like, basically creating the whole alternative fact situation. It's kind of bizarre. I'm just like, you know what? I live in my own world, and this is my world.
I'd be Ariana breaking up homes.
That's
controversial.
But Ariana's not a polarizing figure. Like, I'm talking about a controversial, like, the Kanyes, those kinds of people.
Well, some people don't think Kanye's controversial. And
Yeah,
those would be the right wing extremists.
They're all crazy. Anyway, so the reason why I brought up that
We'll put a pin in mine and I'll come back.
Please put a pin. We'll come back in 20 minutes because you will take 40 minutes if I let you continue. So I have been really, and I honestly, it was time for me to move on. It was, it was done properly, and, it wasn't like a rash decision. It happened, and I put in my 2 weeks, and I did it in a very professional way, and then I was very happy to see the support of all the people that came out to my party. I was telling Nick, like, how kind of, like, emotional I got because not only did front of house come, if you're a townsperson that works at a restaurant, front of house is like servers and bussers, but like also like the cooks and people from the kitchen came, and like it was really nice to see those people. I had no idea there were many more Peruvians than I even knew were at the damn restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I really have been focusing, on gigging, and like, if anyone is on here because you heard me on the Michelle Collins podcast radio show, I've been lucky enough to like have her bring me on as a co-host, and like I'm just really trying to focus on gigs, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really just trying to like make this my opportunity to just find my way through just, making money out of what I want to fucking do, And obviously a lot of your town council members and trust and believers are a big part of that, so thank you. But when I tell you, and I've talked about this in the pod, and I was texting you and alluding a little bit about it, there is a certain daddy who in season 1 I talked about my situation with him, how he done got us a hotel, and I had a whole baby experience, and then I have like been given money by this person a couple times. And so who conveniently enough decides to like reach out to me, but like because I didn't hear from him for like 4 months, 3 months. You know, one of those things where I was just like, okay, like I guess he's just in and out, whatever, because he's already like, I guess like retired, quote unquote, but he's too young to be retired too. I'm just like, I guess you really make that much money.
I'm sure he's got a dual income household good situation.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
The thing is, like, again, like if you're also new for season 2 here, like the situation with this man is that like he like takes me out and like buses me down at this hotel, buys dinner and stuff, and like he's also financially, you know,
Well off.
giving me, you know, I guess assisted me, but it's never been like. The first time it was never really like a clear transaction. The second one felt more like a transaction, but like I know because I met him through my old job, and like I know that he has a husband, and all the times I've seen him, he's never talked about him. He's only alluded to just being okay, like, oh, we're fine, whatever, but he never mentions him, and he always like does things that like make it sound like his husband doesn't know what he's doing. And so like well, already Nick is probably just like he would never do it.
I mean, it depends on the situation. I mean, I've fucked my fair share of men in open relationships, but I don't think, and I've only fucked one dude who I knew flat out that was married and that was keeping the little side piece, aka me, a secret, and that was DL Daddy from last season. If you're a townsperson from back then.
Oh yes, you're right. See, so you have done this,
right? I didn't get paid for that, unfortunately, but I do wish. I do wish. But you know, I did. Listen, it happens, and unfortunately, would I do it now? It depends on the dick. It depends on the dick.
Well, that's the thing, and so like now I'm at a point where like, okay, you know, like I'm in a different, I guess, financial situation where I'm trying to find different sources of income.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been all over me. Like I was live tweeting basically his texts to Nick at my farewell party because he decides to just be like, oh, like I want it. Honestly, again, like maybe we need to start like bleeping our videos to see if it's gonna get picked up by YouTube. But like the things we talk about on here, like just openly on this YouTube platform,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to censor myself, but like
no, it's true. But
it's true life. It's true life.
yes, and you're being honest and open and authentic.
So he says stuff to me like, and maybe we can believe this if it sounds like it's too intense.
Sure.
But he texts me stuff like I I want to walk. Well, actually, it's not that bad. But like, I want to walk in there with you naked on the bed, with your legs spread and your whole looped up, ready to take me. Like, and I'm just like, okay, you know, like let's key. But then, and he's never gonna see this, by the way, which is why I'm even openly talking about this, because there's no way this man even remotely listens to podcasts.
No, and watch it the next time you go to that hotel room. He's like, so I listened to your pod recently. You're fully ass up, lubed, and ready, and he's like, actually,
he's just playing.
No, he's like, actually, can we talk?
Yeah,
actually,
and I'm like,
he's like, can you actually sit instead of on all fours?
Okay, but the funny thing is that this links to him not ever talking about his husband. Is that he always this past week, he's been asking me to make the transactions, and like he'll Venmo me like what I pay.
Shady.
So I keep telling. I was like, last time he was like, here, this hotel, this time, put it on your credit card, and then I'll Venmo you right away. He's like, you know my Venmo already, and I was like, T, like I know.
You're like, I'll request.
And so I was like, should I? And so at that point, I was like, why doesn't he just do it? And then like scheduling didn't work, timing didn't work out. This past Monday, where he was just like, because my party was on Sunday. On Monday, I was out till 5 a.m, and I literally was like, I'm out of commission. And then he last minute was just like, oh, my schedule cleared up. Can you do today? Hotel this 3 p.m. And this is like 11 a.m. and I'm literally rotting in bed. And I was just like, can we do it later, please? And so timing didn't work out. Now he's back again on the boom boom teeth. And he sends me a link to the lube he wants to use, which is that gun oil lube.
He wants you to buy it.
He's like, get this lube. And again, I'm just
Does he not have it?
well, that's what I mean. He's like, can you? And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these things are just very like clearly like he doesn't want it shown maybe like on his like Amazon history that he's like getting lube, I guess.
Yeah, but wouldn't he use it unless they're not fucking?
Well, there's absolutely, without a doubt, not a single ounce of inkling that they are having intercourse, girl. Like that couple ain't having sex. They're just not. They're just not. And also like this guy is like the younger one in the couple. Like his I've seen a photo of his husband. Like his husband's older.
Oh, that poor older man.
And so
getting played.
He said, "Hey, can you Amazon the lube that I like?" And I'm like, and then we're talking like sexy stuff. And he's trying to have plans for this coming Monday. He's like, download this app. Use the app to book this Tribeca hotel for Monday. It should be this much. Then whatever that is, request on Venmo and I will pay. I want you on their bed, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this man, grown-ass man, is asking me a little baby something. Because he's the one who like, he's the one who asked me like how old you were. He guessed an age. And then I like said something really young. And he was like, sexy. He was like, yum. He said, yum.
Yes, I remember.
So he's... so this...
It's art. I mean, you're both lying to each other.
No, but I mean, like, he it's believable, you know, the age that was brought up. And so I was like, okay, like, I'm giving, you know, like, early 20-something tea, whatever. And so you know what I did? So I was like, at first I was just like, wait, like, why do I need to be so shy about, like, making this a little bit of a transaction for me? Because I also told him that I left my job. So I was like, this grown-ass man is asking me, a poor little artist who, you know, is, like, at the moment, quote-unquote, jobless, and you asking me to book the hotel? I'm like, you book it. Why can't you book it?
Why doesn't he have does he not have his own bank account that his husband doesn't have access to?
I know, that's what I mean. And so now I'm just like, wait, so if I'm going to be doing this, I'm literally putting in work for this. I have to download an app. I have to like book this hotel.
Too much.
So then I said, you know what? Screw it. I want to test the waters and see. And then I was like, okay, Daddy, well, maybe you can, and I was like, maybe you can send a few extra $100 as a tip. So, you know, to cover, and I said, to cover the lube, because it wasn't like cheap lube either. And so I was like, to cover the lube. And then I said, also, so I can go ahead and like make myself look pretty for you on Monday, get a fresh haircut, the works, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you can, you know, so I can be so good for you. And you know what he responded? He literally typed out, eye roll.
You're kidding.
Can you believe? And mind you, this is a man who like...
No, I would never see him again.
This is a man who...
I would never see him again.
This is a man who like, I've told, like, I was like, maybe he's on the spectrum. I mean, listen, like these like spectrum girlies are just like, are really inundating our feeds because like, they just keep chasing us girls. We must be like, I don't know, the chain for spectrum.
I would not...
Well, because...
What did you say to that?
The way he communicates, like I told you, like when we go out to like have drinks, and when I had lunch that one time with him in Midtown, he was like talking about like liberals. He was kind of like giving like, you know, like he's kind of like a, not weird, but like odd communicator. And so like I've had him like text me like one time I was trying to be sexy and he like responded with like a completely different tangent. And I was like, okay, did you not register what I was just trying to tell you? So now I said that, he said that, I was like, you're not going to tell me eye roll and then expect me to go ahead and book a hotel for us?
No, I would. The next time he makes a request, just respond on eye roll.
Yeah, exactly. So then what I responded to him was just the emoji of like the side face that goes like this, that one, you know? Not the eye roll, but like the like side eye, you know?
The shaking my head.
The one that's just like that one.
Yeah.
For the visual learners who saw me do the wonderful interpretation of that emoji.
Someone needs to book you. So come on. Where's her agent?
That's the thumbnail. Wait, you do it. You do that emoji. How would you do it? Because there's two. There's one with the side eye where the person's like mad, but then one that's like smirky. Okay, that's the mad one, but then do the smirky one.
I don't know the smirky one.
There's two. There's one that's like...
Okay, but what did you respond? What did you say?
I sent that emoji and that's it.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck you. Like,
did he say anything?
As I got off the train to record the podcast, he texts back again, I'm hard again.
Eye roll. I'd just respond eye roll.
Well, at this point, I'm like, okay,
The sex isn't that good.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, he's a sexy daddy. You've seen a photo of him. He's sexy. Like,
yeah.
the way that he buzzed me down at the hotel, definitely gay fantasy. Like, he like poured his like vodka, like white button down, suit, 2P. Like, he was giving me that fantasy of just like rich daddy who wants to like be spoiled by like a Latino twink. Like, that was a T. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, if I'm gonna be giving you all that, and you're gonna be like behaving this in such ways with me via text message, that I'm gonna make you want it, So if he really wants it, I'm not that desperate to have sex with him, to be honest. Like, the only reason that I really wanted to do it with him is because I wanted to get some extra cash. So now I'm like, okay, well,
I still think you should respond eye roll.
well, maybe I'll respond eye roll, but then at this point, like, honestly, like, what do you think? Like, I'm not dying to have sex with him. I am dying for like, like,
It's too much. Oh my God, it's too much work.
Yeah, no, it's like
that's.
But I mean, it is also gig economy because, like, unfortunately, like,
Right, but
as,
he's
like,
not giving you extra money though.
Yeah, but as odd as he is, like, I feel like because I feel like now that I know he really wants it on Monday, then maybe I'm just gonna be much more clear about it and be like, hey, like, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. See, now we finally got to the topic of the conversation. It's just like, okay, so as you townspeople know, I've like gone in and out with like dabblings of sex work, and like I've done it on occasion in very private ways in which,
your Mikey Madison tease.
Yeah. Mikey Madison era. Oh my God. And so I know that I don't think I was dabbling doing an OnlyFans, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to opt out on that for now. I think I'm in a decision just because I feel like in this kind of like sex work where it's like just like hooking up with somebody and then they pay you an amount, which was what this daddy was that last time. It's still like a private event. Does that make sense? Like, it's still in the privacy of just like our, what we do and like our conversation. Does that make sense? So like, I'm not putting it out on the internet. Does that make sense? So like, to me, I feel like, okay, like I would still be, I feel like I would opt out doing that. But then like, I don't know, like I feel some sort of way of just being like, I don't want to be and even when this podcast, episode comes out, like wanting to have a successful like acting and artist career, means that like you might get judged for doing this kind of thing. And so like in my head, I'm just like, a part of me really wants to dive in and just see about that part of
I mean, people,
that line
you can
of work.
you can make the transition. There are plenty of sex workers who have transitioned to become actors and like whatever, like Miss Chloe Cherry on Euphoria. She got confirmed for season 3. She just got brought back and she is a porn star, you know what I mean? She does adult videos. And
there was this other, can you remind, there was another actor who oh, you know who, are you familiar with Jeffrey Self?
yeah.
So he's,
I mean, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Why are you laughing?
No, sorry. I don't know who that is.
Oh my God. Okay.
It sounds familiar though.
But why was the laugh? Just because I took it. Okay. So
No,
just
because
so you know, tell people, we did cut something really quickly, and then Nick clearly was gagged at how quickly it picked that back up.
No, it was so I was like, oh, okay. I was a little thrown off, but okay.
No, but it's called being on, mama.
That's why I said yes. I was just going with it. I was so present in the moment.
That's why Sean Baker. I'm not gonna be the one who wastes takes, mama. I want to keep the camera rolling.
And that's why I'm such a good acting partner, because I just went with it.
Are you? No, because you were clearly
I was
off
present.
character. You
No.
were just like.
No, you said you're familiar, and I went yes.
No, you laughed, bitch. You ruined the take. See, you ruined the take. I kept the cameras rolling.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, do you know Jeffrey Self? Yes or no?
It sounds familiar, but I would need to see an image.
He had a podcast with Cola Scola, and they were comedy partners on YouTube for a bit, and then like they're all doing their own thing. But like he's also like a comedian. He was on Search Party and like the other two.
Can you pull up an image?
Yeah. So this is him.
Oh, I know him. I'm familiar. He's hit me up before.
Oh, he's hit you up?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, stop!
Yes.
No, I mean, I think he's a very good-looking guy, but I mean, I mean, to be quite frank, like, I mean, this is no tea even, because he listened to me on the Michelle Collins podcast, I believe, and that's when he followed me online. And then I followed him.
Oh, you got the follow.
I got the follow first. Let's just put it out, let's call us by a spade. And then I followed back because I was like, oh, like performer. And I did reach out to him to do Unpopular Opinions, my show. Mm-hmm. But then something happened with scheduling, and then he ended up having to pull out.
Girl.
No,
I got something else you can pull out of.
Well, he just released a book.
Now you non-binary him.
Hey, everyone's day, you know.
You're non-binary. You're non-binary. You're non-binary.
You're non-binary. But he just released a book, and I read a little excerpt of it in which he talks about him being a sex worker in his early 20s on Craigslist, and he talks openly about it. And I was reading it, and I was literally just as this was crossing my mind, this whole exchange I had with Hotel Daddy. So I was like, you know, he's writing about sex work in the context of like, oh, in my early 20s, like I did sex work as a way to supplement myself with money, and it's always in the context of like the past things I did, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me, it's like, you know, like this is my current me. This is me.
This is me.
This is my fight song.
Oh,
So
I was doing.
this is my
I was
sex
doing.
worker
I was
song.
doing the J-Lo.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is me.
I know. And I'm not gonna
I don't
go
even
down
get.
that rabbit.
I don't even get me. This is. I love that clip. I don't even get me. This is me. Continue.
Anyway, so I wanted to have an open discussion here to let go of even that insecurity I have about myself and like what I find attractive and what I find, you know, as, you know, I elevate sex workers so much so, and I support them in such a fervent way that like I want to let go of that shame by talking about this publicly on this platform, because my biggest insecurity is just like someone finding this out and like a clip coming out of me being like, oh, Peru talks about like getting money for sex and all these things, and I'm just like, well, yeah, that is something that I did, and I don't want to be ashamed about it, you know.
I don't think you should.
So I guess that was the dumb way to go about telling you that like I wanted to discuss with you, like this idea that I have of like, okay, I want to tell Hotel Daddy, literally, like I think I'm just gonna jump the boom boom gun and be like, now that he's being awkward and stupid, I'm gonna be like, you know what, hey, actually I am gonna go through the trials and tribulations of like downloading this damn app and booking this Tribeca hotel, but I just want to let you know that like I'm like, you know, I'm looking for gigs right now, and if, you know, if this could be that, it would be great. And then if he says no, then I'll be like, okay, cool, no worries. And then
Sure. I just think it's a little. I mean, even now.
or how the water's been so muddied with him already.
I mean, at this point, if I was in your position, I'd be like, I've been getting.
Well, you if you were in my position, if you got that text, you would just like be crying in your room and just like be like blocking him, be like, I will never talk to him again.
No. But it's also just like it's so much work, and also it seems like he's
but you said the operative word. Work.
Yeah, but
and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna put in the work,
yeah, but
let
he's
me
already
have money, mama.
But his response to you asking for money was eye roll. So like, if I was in your position, I'm like, I already asked for money, like kind of codedly, which wasn't very coded in your situation. Like, you know, you said flat out, can I throw a couple extra hundreds in there?
But you know what?
But and I think even if you have this conversation with him, listen, it could go a different way. But it already seems like it's headed to the trajectory where he just thinks that like this is just going to be something where he's going to cover like the hotel and shit or whatever, the basics, just to fuck. Like he's not going to give anything more.
But that's the funny thing, because last time like he almost flew me out to LA to like be his toy person.
But yeah, that's just for the sex though. It's not you don't get anything on top of it.
No, because remember he said I'll pay you what you get paid at your job.
Well, that's because you had been like, oh, I'm gonna miss out on work.
I know, so that's what I'm saying. So like in previous instances, he's been clear about being like, oh, I'll pay you. Like,
but he hasn't been clear since
here. The only other time that he was clear was like, hey, I'm in town. Like I'm gonna be at the hotel. So we went to the hotel, and then he said, hey, princess, what's happening? You know, like, and I was telling him, and then he just sent me money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think
he said, and then his follow up text when he sent me money was just like, I'm a very fortunate person. And I was like, okay, patting yourself in the back, but I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
no, sure, but like, I think if I was in your position and like wanting to pick up gigs in this way, you know, like get a John, you know,
get a John.
I would maybe find some other avenues besides just him, because he seems to be too much work for what is being offered. But you know, that's just me personally. I would just be so exhausted because I'm like, on top of like trying to find a job, just like a normal job to like pay the bills, then also having to put in all this work of like, gotta download this app, I have to book this hotel, I have to Venmo him, and then make sure that I have enough money in my account to be able to secure the hotel. Like all of that stuff is a little too much on my plate. would be too much on my plate for me to actually enjoy it. And like, and it seems like I don't know. It seems like his head is in a different place. And
yeah, he's definitely an interesting person.
It just seems like you two maybe are communicating, and maybe it's not, you're maybe not communicating in a way that both of you understand. You know, so that's just how I view it. But you know, best of luck to my sister. I hope you get your coin, diva, and your dick and your coin.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, you know, like I told you yesterday, I did something really big with my lit agent, and like all these things are happening. So right now, I'm finding myself, I guess, as my town hall, concluding my town hall. In conclusion, right now, Peru's state of being is very driven, motivated, hopeful. And just ready to try different things and do new things and just make things happen. So I think this week I started off kind of like okay, and then like I really ended up building up on confidence. Especially yesterday, I had a really good moment of like we're like laying out what I'm doing, and I'm like, wait, like I'm doing good. I'm doing good things. You know, I haven't just been like sitting on my ass. Like I've been putting in the work and like seeing the work that I put in for the last couple of years. Yesterday, kind of literally in front of me, it was really gratifying to see. So
that's great.
So hopefully the hard work pays off.
No, congratulations, my sister.
Oh, it's my sister doing okay. So you were gonna interrupt my story,
right?
What was it you were talking about?
So my man.
Oh yes,
my
please.
man. So then
so
didn't come. So my man's didn't come to the party, and I was drunk, and I was horny, and I was pissed. And I ended up staying much later than I initially said I would because I worked breakfast the next morning.
Townspeople will not tell you. Nick said I gotta leave by 11:30. Cut to 1 o'clock, and I'm like, oh.
No, I know, because I was
lychee martini on hand. Okay.
I got 2 lychee martinis. I went crazy, but it was fun because I got to see so many people that I haven't seen in a while, like old coworkers who came and showed up. And as soon as like a person would walk in, I would go, oh my god, well now I have to stay and talk to them because I haven't seen them in forever. So I got to catch up with a lot of great people, you know, that I haven't seen in a while, which was really great and really fun. And I had a lovely time, and it was so much fun. But I was horny. Mama wanted to get some cock in the hole, okay? Or I just wanted to make out with somebody. and so then I was figuring out how to go home, and then me and my friend who I work with, who lives in the same neighborhood as me, took an Uber together, went home. It was fine.
Hear the full details on the Patreon on that one.
Hear the full details on the Patreon for that one. But then he had said to me multiple times that he would like reach out to me on Instagram, like DM me, because we follow each other. And he has never DM'd me after all of this, after this like big, huge revelation that he has feelings for me and finds me attractive and like wants to take me out, all this stuff, and has not said anything to me. So then today, so I've been bold this week. So yesterday,
bold.
I know I have. I don't know.
Nick, bold.
Well, I know.
This is.
I don't even get me. This is me. But yesterday I woke up and I was in such a good mood, and I don't know what it was, but I felt like such a diva. I was like,
girl, you were a chatterbox yesterday.
I really was, and I woke up, I went to the gym.
Why am I so hot?
Do you want me to crack open a window?
Yeah, is it just me? It's warm.
I think it might just be you.
Okay.
But I'll crack. No, it's fine. I'll crack open a window.
Thank you, sister.
So then I went to the gym. While I was at the gym, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my day today? Because I had no plans, because my sister told me that she was busy. So she was like, I can't hang out. And I said, okay, so I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go see a movie. So I was like, I'm going to make plans.
I was busy doing work.
Yes. And I was like, okay, so my sister's busy, so I'm not going to hang out with her. We're not going to record. That's fine. So I just need to figure out what I'm going to do. So I was like, I want to go see Black Bag. Kate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, my girl.
Oh, yeah.
Marissa, I don't know how to say her last name, but from Industry, that diva.
Yeah, what did you think?
I really liked it. I thought it was fun. Yeah. I think you would like it. I think it's cunty.
I like it's like a cunty like detective thing, right?
It's like a spy.
Yeah, they're all like sexy and
yes,
spy. Although that wig they give Kate Blanchett, I don't know, but that brunette bob they threw on her.
It's not a bob. It's got honestly, as you're watching the movie, I wasn't like, ooh, this wig. Like I honestly was like, she looks good. The outfits that they were putting her in, I was like, damn, her body's. Okay. It's like Kate's body's tea.
Her body of work and her body's tea.
100%. Michael Fassbender, of course, sexy as fuck.
Oh my god, who I've seen in person, girl. That man. Have you seen Shame?
Oh my god, I said
Oh,
that. I said that.
see
No, no.
that?
When I was in the Uber. When I was in the Uber. Oh,
In the Uber to your Uber driver, you fucking
wait,
loser.
no. Well, hold on.
Excuse me, Uber driver. Have you seen the movie Shame?
No. So no. Okay, so I'll get into it. So my friend, who I talked about on the Patreon, I was like, hey, I texted because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna reach out, see. Well, I'll get into the specifics on Patreon, but I was like,
Sorry, we have to.
I texted and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go. Are you doing anything tonight? I'm gonna go see Black Bag if you want to join. Within 30 seconds was like, I'm down. I was like, okay, you're obsessed with me, chill. But when we were in
dear friend.
my dear friend, and then in the Uber ride home, we were talking about the movie, and I said, we were talking about Michael Fassbender, and I said, sweetie, have you seen Shame? And he was like, no, what is that? And I said, Michael Fassbender plays.
You know how I know that man is actually not gay or homosexual because he hasn't seen Shame.
No.
Confirmed.
And I was like, first of all, watch that way too young. I watched it on the family desktop when we had an HBO like login situation because my parents refused to tell us that they got HBO because they didn't want us watching like the adult content on there, which wasn't like
Jokes on them.
just like radar movies. But I found out that we had it, and I was like, gag. So then I would like sneak on the family computer and watch movies that I shouldn't when my parents were at work over the summer. And Shame was one of those. I think I was like 12 or 13 when I watched it.
And that janked up New York, like
Carrie Mulligan.
Oh, no, she tried, sister, but that when they put her up at that boom boom room, I was like, this is a boom boom fail.
No, but I was like in the Uber, I said, oh, Shame, Michael Fassbender plays.
Love you, Carrie Mulligan.
No,
I hope to work with you one day. I'm just saying, I think they're
very talented actress.
very talented for your clipping for socials.
And so I was like, have you seen Shame? And he goes, no, what is that? And I go, he plays a sex addict, and you see full frontal, and he's just fucking the whole movie. And the way that he looked at me, and he was like, oh. That okay, so he's like, you're into that, and I was like,
oh my god, I would have pushed him out of the Uber.
I was
girl.
like,
have some sister diva fun.
I said, Michael Fassbender's penis is so gorgeous and so beautiful. Like you just have to see it to believe it.
It wasn't really his response.
He was just like, oh,
how boring.
I know it
Oh,
was.
Give me a break.
But it was really funny because I all of a sudden felt like a sex fiend. I was like, oh, I mean. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, it's a penis. I enjoy those. Like, I like looking at them. Anyway, we'll get into it more. But then anyway.
Quick aside, because you brought this up. Can we talk about full frontal for a second? Because
Sure.
on Miss White Lotus, Jason Isaacs, who is so sexy, talk about a sexy
It's a
daddy,
prosthetic.
I know. So when do they decide it's a prosthetic and when it's not? Because, in the Shame Michael Fassbender days, when it was full frontal, it meant like they showed their dick. Ewan McGregor is on full. But now it seems like a lot of television is doing full frontal, but then they're doing prosthetics. So I'm confused. I'm like, okay, like, is it now just not a thing where actors want to do full frontal? Or
well, I don't think a lot of actors to begin with were super excited about doing full frontal.
Well, that's what I mean. But like now it's just like, since now we're in different times.
I'm sure it's probably presented to them as an option. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in those rooms, but I feel like if it's written into the
well, honey, we're gonna be in those rooms.
Well, 100%. I'm gonna say, and it's a requirement. Everyone's gotta get full frontal. But I'm sure when they're probably pitching it to the actor, especially if it's like an established actor or whatever, I'm sure it's probably given an option like, hey, you can do your real dick, or you could do prosthetic, and I'm sure it's up to whatever that actor's comfortable with. I'm not.
So honestly, Mr. Fassbender,
he's a real actor. He's a real because to be quite honest, like if I was in that position, which I will never be, but like,
what do you mean? Oh, showing your intimates?
Yeah, showing my bits. Like I wouldn't.
You would never do a sex scene?
I would do a sex scene, but like those you were the little.
Let me tell
pouch.
you, and don't cancel me. But I'm just saying, listen, I love a sex scene. And like,
I mean, me too, girl.
I want to be choreographed to house down boots on a sex scene. And I want to sell it so good. And I want to be like, hey, this is a sex scene. And then when I be like being on camera doing sex, but then like my scene partner's going to be so horned up with me that we're going to be like, when I go to the real thing in my room tonight, because the sexy.
Okay, so Harvey Weinstein.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just like, oh my god, like, hey, because like you're supposed to act as if you're getting banged.
Right, emphasis on the word act.
I know. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna act so good that I'm gonna make him want it.
Well,
so
let's not forget that that's also your coworker. That's your coworker.
And trust me, believe I fucked many coworkers.
Right. Mm-hmm. But
I texted a fellow coworker.
We'll get into it.
Oh God.
But
Okay, so
but yes, but I think
Uber, full frontal.
sure. Yeah.
Fassbender.
Yes. So whatever. So I was feeling bold, and I don't ever ask people like if I'm like. For people that I'm not like super close to, like truly if I'm like doing something and I'm like, oh, I'd rather like go see movies alone, you know, unless it's like my sister or like friends that I've like known for a really long time. Like if anything, like I love my alone time. But I was like, you know what? I'm feeling in a good mood. I'll like whatever. So I was bold in that regard. I went thrift shopping yesterday, had a lovely time. There's a beautiful L train by my gym that honestly is like pretty well stocked and the prices there are not very expensive versus the ones that are like in like Bushwick proper.
For New York townspeople, which by the way, shout out to the New York townsperson.
Well, I was gonna get to that.
Anyway, continue.
So like in Bushwick proper, that's a little bit more expensive, but that's because it's like in the gentrified areas.
Oh yeah, the one off. I know what we're talking about.
But the one in my neighborhood is like honestly like not too bad. Like the most expensive, like even like a leather coat was like $20, and like sometimes at the one in like the other ones that I have been to, it's like upwards of $40 and $50 for certain items, and I was like, okay, girl, you are truly trying to rip people off. But thankfully, whatever, got something cute, and then I went home and then had a lovely like little. I did a sewing project. I've been working on a sewing project. I've been repurposing 2 pairs of Dickies pants into a little tote bag, like a crossbody tote bag. That's honestly so cute. I'm almost done with it, but because my tote bag that I made for myself, which is very similar to the tote bag that I made my sister Peru for her birthday last year, was also made from a repurposed pair of pants.
Perfect for groceries.
Perfect. And I wear that bag all the time, and like it fits all of my shit perfectly. And like whenever I wear it, I tend to get a lot of people asking me like, oh my God, your bag is so cute. Where did you get it? And I get to be like, I made it, which I live for. I love doing that. But it's the first one that I ever made of it using that pattern that I like developed for it. So like it is like very
okay, woman in STEM.
No, very much. Because it was sort of kind of like a rough sort of draft or whatever, but it turned out really cute.
Like your face.
Okay, let's be nice. I'm in a good mood, and my face is beautiful. Thank you.
I don't even get me.
This is me. That part. I'm out here in Miami. So then anyway.
What a wreck with Jenny.
So then it's like falling apart though, because I've been using it for years, and like I put a bunch of heavy shit in it. And anyway, like my shoulder also, I've noticed my right shoulder gets a little bit sore when I wear it for a little too long because it gets heavy. So I was like, let me make a crossbody bag. You just put the weight on the other shoulder. So I've been working on it. My roommate was like, wow, it looks like a bagoo bag. And I was like, wait, thank you. But I did run into a problem where I'm almost done with it. It's so cute. But then I tried to fit everything in it before I sew it up the bottom because I was trying to figure out how deep to make it. And unfortunately, it looks kind of ugly when I put all my shit in it.
Oh,
so
no,
I'm like,
it's like misshapen and stuff.
Kind of. So I'm trying to think. I'm like, is this just gonna be like a going out bag now instead of like
is it too big though for a going out bag?
It could be like a going out, but like doesn't fit like my laptop and my hydro flask in it. It's like you pick one or the other.
Yeah, the hydro flask we take everywhere. There's like a fucking like mountain climbing hydro.
Oh, it's a weapon, and I live for it. And also I stay hydrated. So I've been working on that, and I'm almost gonna finish. I'll probably finish it maybe tonight, maybe, or I'll finish it later this week. But it's super cute. I'm really proud of it. It's lined and everything. Like it's got multiple pockets. I'll have to show you when we're done recording.
You should have brought it in here.
It's like on my sewing table. But so then anyway, I was working on that, and then I saw the movie. The movie was good. And then today at the gym, I said, you know what? In the spirit of being bold, because I woke up this morning feeling what? Horny. Okay? I want a man's body pressed up against mine. Is that so wrong? But I'm at this point now where it's like I genuinely, anytime I open up Sniffies, because I deleted Grindr, I re-downloaded Hinge a couple of days ago, like 3 days ago. Because I thought to myself, you know what? I'll re-download it. Maybe I'll put myself out there or whatever. Not one profile liked me.
But it's been what, a day?
3 days.
3 days is not long enough, girl.
Girl. I'm sorry. The last time that I re-downloaded Hinge, within the first day, I had 4 people who liked me, which is, you know.
Have you updated your pics?
I did update my pics, and I think that's why. See, when you're a chop hoe.
Well,
so then anyway, so I was just like, okay, so Hinge is not working. Sniffies, I'm not it. I don't want to I want to fuck somebody who like is genuinely interested in me. So my man who didn't show up to Peru's party, I said, you know what? Let me just rip off this Band-Aid. I messaged him and I said, when are you leaving? I didn't get to say goodbye officially. Heartbreak emoji.
Yes.
No response.
Did he see it?
No, he hasn't been online. But we shall see. Because I don't know when he's leaving the country. Or not the country, but leaving the... Is it country?
The country.
Yes.
No, you're airing his tea out.
Well, he is leaving the country.
Yes, in the country. Okay, well, I'm really proud of you. I'm so happy that
So
you put
manifest.
yourself...
Everyone manifests that he responds and he comes over tonight.
Let's help crossing my fingerinos. Although I thought you were intending on like coming out tonight. I guess you're just unofficially telling me you don't want to, even though you're the one who brought it up in the first place this morning.
Well, what I brought up was like we could get a drink in the neighborhood like we did last week. I don't know if I want to go all the way out to Williamsburg because last time we went to Williamsburg was when I had the train issues, the bus issues, and then I had to end up taking an Uber anyway, and then I had to take an Uber home, and it was just like too expensive.
Wow.
So I'm like, so that's the thing is like I looked at my bank account today, and like I'm really trying to like.
Did you file your taxes? I know you would have.
It got rejected, so I have to redo it.
Really?
I don't understand why it got rejected. I keep reading the little blurb saying like why they didn't. The state was accepted, but my federal for some reason wasn't. And it's like because I'm missing some sort of like number. But I was like, that didn't ask me for that information. Anyway, I have to go back and look. I have to call my dad. I'll be like, Dad, can you just like do this for me? And he will.
No, that's also like listen. Every year, without a doubt, shout out. Honestly, I'm gonna ahead of schedule. My pioneer this week's gonna be Miss Yolanda. Miss Yolanda.
Is that who
does my taxes?
Does she do Waleed's too?
No. Waleed's is somebody else.
Okay.
Another woman who will not be disclosing any information of her because I know she does magic tricks to get Waleed his return.
Got it.
And also Waleed makes much more money than I do. But anyway, Yolanda. And listen, people can tell me anything they want. I'm an H&R Block girl. That's who I am. Many people are TurboTax girls. Others are like, I'm a family tax person.
I'm sorry, it's fuck TurboTax because the amount of fees that they fucking try to charge you is crazy. I did that first.
H&R is also like depending on but the thing is, well, go ahead. How much?
It was like crazy. I did the free tax, whatever. I mean, I still had to pay for state because New York requires that you pay. So like, I paid $50. It was like $45 to do it, whatever. TurboTax wanted me to pay $80 for the exact same thing, double the price.
Well, see, the thing is like, and I really lucked out with Miss Yolanda because like this is her 3rd or 4th year doing my taxes. And like her knowing like the stuff that I do and that I perform and my like work history and like she really helps me just with like things to account for, like when I was producing a show more frequently, like I was able to claim a lot of that stuff like transportation, costumes, aka my outfits, and like all these other things that I can really make sure that I'm claiming and putting in there. Without a fail, I always get a return, mama.
I do get a return
and
this year.
Even though it cost me a couple $100 to do my taxes with Yolanda, but usually it just gets covered by the refund that I'm gonna get, and it's still this year I'm getting a good chunk of money, and God is good. Trust and believe God provides when you need it the most.
Sure, this is the first. I think this is the first year that I don't owe money because normally I do.
You owed last year?
I certainly owed the year before.
Really?
Oh my God, I owed like $700 the year before, and I like had a breakdown about it because I didn't have the money, and I like remember calling my mom sobbing, and they're like,
yeah, but relax. You could always call the IRS and tell them to do a payment plan. Like,
well, that's what we did.
Good.
But I was like fully like, I had a mental breakdown about it. It was during a dark time. It was during a dark time. But I survived, and then this year I get money back.
Unfortunately.
And honestly, it's not that bad. I get like almost $300 back.
Oh no, I'm getting.
Oh, like more?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I figured I was not gonna get anything, or
no,
like I was gonna get
getting anything is a win, girl.
So I was like work, and I was like that's fine. But
that's like grocery money,
Yeah,
for a month.
But I have to redo it because it got rejected, so I have to redo it.
How much money do you spend on groceries?
Like each time I go?
Yeah. Like what? Like if you were to say
like $60.
Like, and that's like you fully restocking.
Yeah, for like the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the week, so you're spending $60 a week.
Yeah,
on groceries,
like average. Yeah, like 50 to 60.
So you go every week to do groceries?
Not every week. It's like a week. Every like maybe like week and a half.
Week and a half. Yeah, I'm thinking to me as especially now that I'm like a really being diligent with the food that I'm eating and whatever, like I'm looking at like 70-ish. It's good. Great. Great for me. Like it's a win. I feel like anything even below that would be like great. But I'm also thinking, wow, like some people talk about grocery expenses as if they're like, well, it also depends on like the kind of like how many people they're buying groceries for or whatever.
Sure, and some of these bitches be going to Whole Foods.
I know, and like, listen, I love me some good stuff. Like, I'm not saying here, but I mean, I always go to Trader Joe's or the Key Foods if I'm like, I need an extra something, just up the street from my. I mean, townspeople, sound off. Actually, where do you do your groceries? Let us know. Some people like live near like
I'm a Trader Ho.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Trader Ho. And some people, though, I know, like for example, in like more metropolitan, no, more like cities like Houston or stuff like that. People like go to like a Target, like a super Target that has like a grocery section too.
Well, it's fuck Target.
Or Walmart. Well, listen, with the whole DEI thing, like really fuck this entire country in general. So like, listen.
But it's fuck Target.
But allow me to go to
Costco
Target.
said they weren't going to cut their DEI initiative, so thank you, Costco.
Yeah, but Costco's still problematic in many ways.
Well,
so
they don't hate people of color.
You're the Costco.
They don't hate people of color and the LGBTQ.
Anyway, no judgment here, but let us know where you do your groceries. That would be really fun to know this. Any specific? Because here in New York, there is very New York specific is Key Foods. Key Foods, and then Seatown is very New York.
I go to Key Food if I have.
But then obviously the usuals like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. In Texas, I used to go to Central Market. But what are your local towns' grocery spot? Let us know.
Piggly Wiggly.
Spyros from Cyprus, a Cyprus townsperson. Let us know what's like the Cyprus town, the Cyprus like grocery shop. You know,
Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig. That was my grandma's grocery store.
Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly.
Is it the song?
Yeah, that
Shop
was
the pig. This should be your song.
No, it's Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig. Shout out to also on Thursday I was on my way home from work and I was out of it. I was like,
slap you so hard.
I was tired. I was so tired. I'm so sorry. I didn't get your name, but a lovely, beautiful townsperson came up to me and said that they loved the pod, and I awkwardly grabbed their hand. I'm so sorry, but it was such a beautiful moment. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I was like, I had no idea what was going on, and all of a sudden I had someone come up to me and they were like, "Oh, I love the pod," and I was like, "Oh my God." And then of course like they're trying to get off the train and I'm like, wait. And then so I'm so sorry I didn't catch your name. It was so quick, so brief, but I really shout out to you. Love you. Thank you for the support. It meant everything. It like totally improved my mood for the evening because I was, a little stressed after work. I was a little bit unhappy with my life, and that really turned things around. So thank you so much. Ooh. And we support.
And also a follow-up from a couple episodes ago. I remember we were talking about London, and we were like, do we have any like London townspeople?
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Angus, townsperson Angus, who said, you said in the latest episode you didn't have any English listeners. I am here, angry face. I'm so sorry, Angus. Shout out. So happy that you're from England. I wasn't trying to do an accent, but I don't know what I was trying to do there. But I'm happy that we have a person from England, a townsperson representing the town. And then there were also a couple of people I wanted to quickly shout out from YouTube at Norberici5731, who's been revisiting the episodes from season 1.
Shout out.
Rewatching Purr. Nick really was in his mask era. Love You Kings from Don't Be Jealous of My Bussy episode 5, in which you were famously wearing a Wisconsin hoodie with shorts like all the way up. Like you were definitely giving mask.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, trade. And then another person at Dilf Lover 245.
Okay, how did they get my? They stole my username.
Nick was so afraid of the Times discovering Sniffies before everyone else was.
Oh, thank you.
My red inflamed pastrami ass, episode 7, and we should discuss famously. We haven't talked about your fucking red pastrami inflamed ass because you haven't been having any features lately.
Because I haven't been having sex, Diva.
So I guess that's it.
Yeah,
girl. To wrap it up, too, like quick sex recap of the week. Diva, when I tell you early this week, I had sex, and I texted you about it. I had sex with, by far this year, hands down, the sexiest and actually also like nicest Dominican man whose sister lives in my building. And I was like, I had seen him on and off, and a few months ago we had talked, but then I was like looking whatever, he said yes, and then like I sent him my album, but like I didn't hear back from him, and I was like, well, screw you, then I guess you don't like me. But then he reached out to me early this week, and I was like, hey, I think we've talked before. Comes in, and it's one of those like dream scenarios that when the person that shows up at your door is sexier than the photos that they have, and you're just like, wait, like what's going on? When he came in, he also like rang the doorbell, which I was like, I should have told you not to when you were coming down the stairs because I don't want to wake anybody up. But it was like, I think it was like 12:45 or something. Ding, and I was like, no. So like I ran out. Comes in, 6'1", beautiful penis, and not only that, but like we chatted afterwards.
Wait, you'll have to show me an image.
Girl. And it's and so I saw him today because I took Clover out to pee real quick before coming in.
He was
here.
outside?
He was leaving with his sister. And so his sister was talking to some lady who they were holding the door for. She had a dog too. So sister was wearing like this like purple sweater, talking to this old lady with her basket and the dog. And then I'm walking in and I see him and he looks at me and I'm just like, hey. And he's like, and then of course like he clocks me and then like he like is looking at me as I'm like going up the stairs with Clover. And then I turn around to see that he was looking and he was looking and I was like, okay. I haven't heard back from him, but but I did send him a message saying, seeing you at the entrance made my ass quiver.
I hate you.
So we'll see.
Okay, wait, you already did your Pioneer. Do you have another one?
My Pioneer is Miss Yolanda from H&R Block. Diva buses my finances out. She knows my trials and tribulations. She's always so proud of me every year because every year I've actually been making more money, which has been really nice to see. But this year she was like, you see this? She's like, you see here? You made $10,000 more dollars than last year. So you see that, right? And I was like, she's like, good for you. Good for you. And she was like, see, is this what you've made from performance? Like you've made this and like you're making more. This is good. This is good. She's always so sweet and so supportive. And I'm like, thank you, Yolanda.
girl.
Thank you very much. Right? And she's like, what's next? Am I going to see you on TV this year? And I was like, well, that's the goal. That's the goal, Yolanda.
Come on.
You know, I'm going to have to dedicate some to Yolanda at this point. But thank you, Yolanda, for getting me a nice return this year. And I'm really happy, especially now because
Shout out.
Miss Hotel Daddy ain't going to pull through. But you know what? The tax return is going to pull through. And you know what? I love the government.
Oh, okay. Not me. My trailblazer for the week is gonna be Miss Marissa. I don't know how to say. I think her last name is
Harskute?
No,
Harskute?
Abella. I'm not sure. She plays Yasmin.
A British queen.
Yes, British queen from. She plays Yasmin on Industry. She was in Black Bag, but there's a scene where they have her hooked up to a polygraph test, and she had read a book on like how to like beat one, and then they go, "Are you clenching your sphincter muscle?" And she goes, obviously. And it's like so kind of cunty. And then they were like, can you release your sphincter muscle? And she was like, okay. And I was like, me as fuck. So that's my trailblazer. No, because there was like something, because they were like, they asked her like a question and she was like, the Michael Fassbender's character is like, I can't remember what the question was, but her response was, girl, you know I have. And it's just like really funny.
Okay.
So I love her.
So if you want to join us, we're going to move over to the Patreon portion of the episode now, in which we're going to be visiting not only talking a little bit more uncensored over there about like personal life stuff that we're like doing, and like we're going to be spilling some other tea and some stories, but also we're going to go into our Google form in which we have submissions from all of the town council members and trust and believers. If you by chance want to be a part of that, you could be submitting something like what... let's see. Today we're going to be talking about Ignacio, a 27-year-old male from Texas. Hello, Ignacio.
Shout out.
We're going to be discussing their town hall submission, which is all about a proposition for a specific threesome. So we're going to be talking about advice on this specific situation. But if you want to be one of those that joins us with Google form submissions, shout outs, or advice questions, or you want to be a part of the town council or the trust and believers, you can join us on Patreon. And where would that be, Nick?
The link in the description.
Well,
And you can follow us at Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram. You can subscribe here on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts.
listen, one of our lovely, lovely regular townspeople recently commented being like, I want y'all to blow up. Well, the way we're going to blow up, unfortunately, is by being obnoxious about telling you to subscribe, like, and rate this podcast. Please, we're 50 away from 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Work.
We already surpassed. We're at 1,038 listeners on Spotify.
Okay, work.
So work for that. Apple Podcast still kind of iffy, although I don't really think a lot of our audience does Apple Podcast anyway. But if you want us to show up on like a trending thing, if you want us to blow up somehow, you're gonna have to support us with those likes, comments, shares. Really help on Instagram. The reels that we've been posting.
You can
Help us
follow.
out.
You can follow Peru at Hey Peru everywhere. You can follow me at.
Don't cut me off.
Wow. You can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownfaceBinch on TikTok, and ClownfaceBitch on Twitter /X. And stay tuned because I might start posting on YouTube very soon.
On your own channel?
ClownfaceBinch.
Oh, great. Well, now you're going to see the trials and tribulations of having to push your content if you want it to be seen, mama girl.
100%.
But you know what? I believe in the town, and the town is going to pull through. So until then, we'll see you on the Patreon. And if not, we'll see you next week.
Bye.